Collective, what's good? I'm your wild and free high priest. My name is Armando, chilling up here. Thank you so much for being here. I honor you. I honor your path, your day. It is Mercury's day when I'm filming this. I didn't even verify the hours. Wow, it is Mars's hour, the Mars hour. I did write down gods. I just included Mars. Yeah, let's get into it, right? Thank you for being here. It is Wednesday, the 16th of July when I'm recording this. I ask that our guides of the highest, most brilliant, divine, white light protect us, protect me as I channel and interpret for your collective divine. This is a message for all, no matter your natal or any sign placement in your chart. Oh, let me turn off this. That's what I'm so sorry. I'm just going with it. It is 12:12 at the moment. Does it catch it? 1212. Okay, numbers significant to many that watch these YouTube thingies. Thank you. Once again, I'm ever so grateful to connect. As always, I did just write a small list. So before I get into the collective reading, I'll list out the symbols that I've been receiving in my chats this morning and in my previous reading. And prior to that, Major Arcana number 2 has been significantly omnipresent in a manner that is very much like the symbolism. Major Arcana number 2 is a High Priestess, as you may already know. And it's like they're here, but are they? It's like we can't really see the High Priestess, right? They hide. We must trust. We must believe. We must forge ahead. We must open doors. But prior to, we must know which door to open, right? Which door are we going through? So the fog is very significant, which can be very scary. I don't know. I do want to get into a little bit of a chat with you about how I don't inherently possess any evil within me. I do honor magic as part of my process and my work. And so I also want to always remind you that we move energy. We never necessarily destroy it. We can move manifestations out of our way, but they do go somewhere, and I hope that you're following me. And so with that, I do want to mention that the High Priestess is associated with Luna, the moon, so that could mean a lot for you as far as symbolism and the goddesses. And I also have the sign of Cancer, Pisces, Virgo, and Taurus. So thank you for being here. You may have a moon in Cancer, Pisces, Virgo, or Taurus, or you may have a significant placement in those signs, or those signs may be affecting you. The North Node and South Node, respectively, are in Pisces and Virgo. The moon is currently in Aries as it connects and squares to the last quarter moon, that vicinity. And then Mercury will soon station retrograde in about 16 degrees of Leo. So that occurs in about 24 hours from this reading or less. So those vibrations and frequencies are in this here reading. like us. The goddess. So back to the message of, like, I used to open the readings with my prayer to Isis and the sun god Ra and Mercury, but it wasn't necessarily that I pulled back. I'm very experimental, and I am also a futurist in a manner that I involve a lot of evolution. And so I'm not necessarily evil per se, or evil at all, but I do evolve. There is evolution in this channel, and the channels that I connect to are involved in forward movement and progression, albeit there are moments of having to come out. So the hangman is very prominent too, wherein there lies stillness. That is also where evolution occurs. And that's a very independent, self-atonement, atonement aligned, Piscean ocean. What's the one thing that you could take? And although it may seem like you can only take one thing, that one thing may be the biggest thing in your life. It may be the biggest piece of knowledge. So knowledge is also beyond knowledge being power. It is hugely a part of this reading. And so besides my opening changing to calling on those of our guides of the highest, most brilliant divine light, understand that I personally am guided. Isis has been a part of my journey since I was a child, since before I could even fully apply knowledge. Hecate has also been a part of my journey since I was a teenager, and as of recently, in my hermit mode, and they do appear. And I think most of you who do know a lot about Mars and Hecate know that dogs, especially like black dogs, those symbols are very much contained in those vibrations. And so these are the gods that not most speak to, or a lot of us maybe speak to Hecate, or we do mention those goddesses. But as far as like scorpionic gods, usually readers tend to like not really admit that, but here I am. And again, it's just it's a force. And so I love that message about Archangel Michael not being a he and a fighter. So again, the warrior goddesses, the warrior gods, what are they truly fighting for? And in any case, do we really understand what fighting encompasses beyond the human struggle, right? Which is, I just love the brilliance of that comment, that the way these gods and goddesses are warriors themselves, it may not be in this like very masculine or like fire, maybe what we think of like the phoenix rising, the Scorpio fire isn't necessarily like the destructive, like ravaging forest fire. Like it's more a symbol that we need to work through. And so that's also a huge part of warrior goddesses and warrior gods, that they work through and for, and they work with land, and they work with home and hearth and harvest. So we're gonna mingle with that aspect of warriorship, like securing the harvest. Numbers include a lot of zeros, so 0330, 0110, 0303, 0606. Tomorrow, Jupiter's day is very significant. As I mentioned, the last quarter moon and the station retrograde for Mercury. The colors, the foggy grays, gray in general, lavender, transparency gray, rose, which is a variant of pink and red, right? Symbols are rosy cheeks, and please forgive me for bringing up food, but reddish drinks like rooibos and hibiscus teas, Southern Hemisphere stuff. Rosy cheeks as a symbol. And wait, I already said that. I'm sorry. Chocolate, yes. Omega 3. And I'm not a nutritionist, so I'm just mentioning food as symbolic. But I also taste. I'm also very human, and I taste these things. And as I'm reading to you, what does omega 3 fatty acids taste? They taste like coconut oils, salmon, fishy. Yes, very good, very well. All right, now can we pick up the pace here? Let's just go with the Moonology and the wild unknown alchemy and an animal spirit, and I'll be quiet for a moment. And we do have the star, Major Arcana 17 as well, which is also the combination of portals, right? Yes, 9 of Wands is here as well as 8 of Wands. So things will. We are so human that we already despise Mercury retrograde, but this is a Mercury retrograde that will combine. Do you want to go this way? Would you like to go that way? I didn't know I possessed this much power to evolve. Well, you do. Thank you for being here. One Moonology for the collective. If you are Pisces, Virgo, or Taurus, or any of the other signs that I have not read for, and you're waiting on that, thank you for waiting on that. Thank you. Okay, one Moonology. Or, yeah, what is the last quarter moon? New moon in Pisces. Meditate and contemplate. Okay. Wow, the color matches the color that I'm wearing. Yes, perhaps we must understand those symbols a little better. Can we come to a better understanding of those symbols so that we understand our humanism, our why we do what we do, and where we choose to go next. This is the 12th sign out of 12 zodiac signs. Like I mentioned, if there was one thing you could take, would it be the smallest thing, or would it be the biggest piece of your pie? It wouldn't be anyone else's pie but yours. Do you suppose that when I say that you can take only one thing, that means you can take the smallest thing? Perhaps you can take the biggest piece of knowledge, and that being your power to fight, and that makes the fight turn to movement forward, to create more after you've sort of had to. Maybe the way we see it is like we have to give it all up to take one big thing, the biggest thing that we could carry with us, and then we can build from there. Holy moly, at the bottom of the deck is the opposing balance, spirituality, and practicality, full moon in Pisces. Yeah, so what does this mean for your vision? Like, does it mean that these are just symbols to meditate on? Do they, yes, do they involve actual, then can those symbols be carried through in your waking life? And for a lot of us, we can say yes. So for you, we can also tell you yes. Okay, wow. Does that, I know the riddles sometimes come through, and it's very fun to see both the new moon in Pisces and the full moon in Pisces. I want to say I was getting a lot of like the month of March, which is in the past, and then the upcoming month of September and October, when the full moon in Pisces occurs, which is an ecliptic a full lunar moon. A lunar eclipse is what I mean, in the full moon of Pisces. And so a lot of what you are meditating now is true spiritual connection. And although it may feel like you're only taking one thing, it's the biggest thing. It's trust. It's knowing that as you give up, and that was in the collective message, I believe. That's what I was talking to my Virgo about, is trust that we give what we have to give up in order to move ahead, to evolve. And that also opens up to a lot of space. God, the universe, source, whoever the planets, whoever your gods, whoever your god, whoever your goddess is, whoever your goddess is, they are guaranteeing more from you having to assess, address, review, omit, then commit to belief that that space that you are creating is for better, for you, for more to come in, what you actually want. And we cycle and spiral up through these processes. So it's not necessarily like this is new, but it's that we are inviting and calling in new. And when we say better, it's after having been through an experience, then we know better, right? That's part of the knowing, is like to know better is to do better. Very Maya Angelou, and to do better is also significant and symbolic of knowing better. So it's very Ouroboros, very magician of you, very Gemini of you, very Virgo of you, to understand how to move about in a magically intelligent way, in an intelligently magical way, to know magic is real, to not just suppress it, to believe in it, to trust in you. And do we do magic to like fly and levitate? Maybe, if you're a yoga. But I'm so sorry about my stomach. What did I eat? I'm getting ready for lunch after this. So shaman in the forest are here. Remember that when you come out of the forest, we do take something. But yes, how very intelligently magical of you, and magically intelligent of you to know that magic isn't just for hocus pocus Harry Potter. It's for like I want to do better and have more or have better. What does more mean to you? Does having more mean more objects? Do you want to attain more, or do you want to have more love? Do you want to have more peace? Are you calling in more knowledge and more peace? And then what will you do with it, right? Oh my gosh. So yes, before I get farther into this, I want to read the other so yeah, part of knowing and having knowledge is applying it. But before we get there, right, before we get to the 3 months ahead, a lot of you could be working in this 369, like next 3 months, next 6 months, next 9 months. And I know 369 is not about 3 months, 6 months, 9 months. Maybe for some of you it is, but that's a manner of manifestation. Very Gemini of you to do that. Ethel Barrymore, quote, "You must learn day by day, year by year, to broaden your horizon. The more things you love, the more you are interested in, the more you enjoy, the more you are indignant about, the more you have left when anything happens." I effing capital F love that. Oscar Wilde, quote, "And the wild regrets and the bloody sweats, none knew so well as I. For he who lives more lives than one, more deaths than one, must die." So you don't, yes, very Piscean of you to like go through your ego death and be like, well, F that. I don't need that. But I need to possess and earn my knowledge through, so I can have better and do better, so I can know better and do better, so I can do better, so I can know better. He was one of those men who possesses almost every gift except the gift of the power to use them. That's where the next 3 months comes in. That's a quote by Charles Kingsley, okay? So I guess we can suppose that this reading is very much what's coming up ahead for you, right? This is what's ahead. Oh my gosh, and the crone is back in the seed. Card 13, the crone, that's knowledge. And that's definitely like the goddess. I don't know which one. I don't want to assert my goddesses, but who are your goddesses, right? What is divine feminine to you? And there are moments when divine feminine readies you to create more by omitting. What have you learned? What has Saturn taught you, right? In this retrograde Saturn season, what does Saturn ask of you? They ask you to create the space to germinate, to seed, to plant, the seed to germinate, to bloom, to blossom over the next 3 months. Card 46. How freaking cool is that? Okay, the seed. We may have to read that one, right? Okay, the mystic, the healer, the poet, and the one. Wow, those were from the last reading. Sometimes these cards are not shuffling though. But yeah, we did mention the last reading for a reason, right? Perhaps that was like an alert. This is the reason why. Why were you alerted to that? Right? Why are we being asked to fight? What are we being asked to fight for, right? And the village is like, how are you going to show up? That's by knowing your tendencies to bypass, to suppose that you've learned so that you can go out. This is 41. Cool. 41 was a number in the last reading, or it's been a number. And I didn't fully finish my thought with, at 42, I believe that is an opposition. That's not a square, but that's when your natal Saturn placement, usually it opposes transiting Saturn. Okay, so especially if you are in the 41, your Saturn must be in Scorpio. So at around age 42 is what I mean. That's when your natal Saturn will oppose transiting Saturn in Taurus. Okay. So you could have a Saturn in Libra, you could have a Saturn in Taurus. You could have, you could be around age 41, 42, 43, 40 years old. Your transiting Saturn, the transiting Saturn in Aries could be opposing your natal Saturn in Libra. Okay. So it's asking you to really create the life that you want. Are you happy with the life that you've created thus far? Are you ready to really create more with that? Are you ready to do with that harvest, take that harvest, and are you ready to create more? Or perhaps you're being asked to really review that because there's something that you've been sort of holding back on, and I'll say it in that manner so as not to suppose that you aren't aware that there is not a better life, but there's a life that can work out better for you, where you can do better, right? From having gone through the experiences that you've gone through. And then we have the empty freaking room. It's like, don't get rid of everything either, is the message here. And do you have to consider it? Does it have to be considered in that manner where you're like, I have to get rid of everything? No, there's knowledge in that. That's the biggest piece of the pie, that no matter how low or how bad it may seem, there's a lot there. There's more to take away than to suppose that you've only done the worst, that you've only done bad, that you've only been bad, or that it's only, to even suppose that it's going to be worse is not the best thing. I will just say that. Your guides are here. I'm so sorry that my freaking stomach is like acting up. So yes, the empty box is about the possibility, okay, but out of emptiness. Okay, and did I say the seed was 46 because it's 66? There you go, repeating number. The seed, the beginning, the origin, the pearl. When light, generative, fertile, germinating, building. When dark, festering, stewing, dormant. Okay, that was part of the message. Would you rather meditate and contemplate the worst? Would you rather look towards building? Does it have to be rebuilding, or is it, this is part of building? You've created the empty room and maybe it feels bad there. So now continue to build. Perhaps it's that you want to look at the structures, test the structures out. If you've been able to build, even though it may seem offsetting, off-putting, it means the structures are still worthy. So do you have to get rid of it? That's what I mean. It's a start nonetheless. So it's likely readdressing your magic, your readdressing your creatrix, creator, what you want to create next, right? Instead of Do you want to continue to create that in that room? No, I want to now create this. Okay, move the energy out so that you can create by moving new energy in. Beginnings come in many forms. They are not always a beautiful seed placed intentionally in nourishing soil. Origin stories, like any birth story, are complex, surprising, multi-layered, and usually reveal a central image or detail that represents the fully formed being. Simply stated, the end is present in the beginning, or the entire oak tree resides within the acorn. Whether you follow this imaginal theory or not, know that when this card appears, there's a potent generative energy all around. It stirs your very insides and usually results in an antsy, impatient feeling. Pay particular attention to what agitates you, as it is a sure sign of growth to come. You are bumping up against a growth edge. It is from the grit that the pearl eventually comes to be. Okay. One of the alchemist's favorite images was the pearl. The irritant over time becomes a treasure. What is your grit? That's a huge part of this message. It could be that the community is just reflecting a lot of this, not in a mirror, not in there's a soulmate person. It's like there are many soulmates, friendships around you that are reflecting either those qualities that you're trying to move away and move out of, or qualities that you're trying to bring in. Either way, it's the knowing. There's knowing. It's you knowing this already, now applying it, now moving in that manner. It's true manifestation. It's again the fire and the reason why we perform magic, right? The true seed is elusive. If we follow any story toward its origin, it spirals farther and farther back in time. In this way, we are always the seed and always the fruit it bears. Okay. Wow. I freaking love that. I don't know where or what, but we do, right? We do. Why don't we not go on for a million years? I just wanna, wow, I split the deck and it's the star. We started the message with the freaking star. What do we have to look forward to for the collective? What is the collective looking forward to in the next 3 months? 8 of Wands and the Moon card. And I must remind you that, so a lot of this message is about the Page of Cups. Maybe you are masculine, or maybe it is the masculine concerted efforts that you're picking up on, and those are either you're developing that or evolving those methods. But what I remind you of is that I don't call this energy and I channel and read, right? That's what we do. So I didn't manifest the 8 of Wands. I didn't manifest the Star card. I simply connected to my channels. Mercury brought these, my goddesses, my gods, my guides, God, source, okay? We also have the faithful Mother of Pentacles, the Capricornian, Sagittarius, Virgo, and Taurus vibration, also known as the Queen of Pentacles, the feminine, juxtaposed by the Page of Cups, a masculine, emotional masculinity. And then we have the ultimate masculines, or some of, right? The Son of Wands, which is the Knight of Wands, which is that Sagittarian, come to light, don't fight the light. And then we have another raven, okay? So there are 2 ravens now. We have a feminine, divine feminine crown. We have a divine masculine Raven, father. Here we have very much the Hermit, again Virgo, and then we have the Hierophant, Taurus. Then we have Hecate's key, okay? Then we have that thunderbolt of lightning. Is it very, very frightening? Okay, yeah, I'm also a cheese ball. That could be symbolic, I don't know. The theatrics of it all, right? What is this? The Nine of Cups with the symbol of the moon, but this is Jupiter in Pisces. This is creating space. This is not rushing out. This is also the knowing, right? Nine of Cups. This is also wish fulfillment on the physical plane. This is knowing that you can fulfill that. Three of Wands and Five of Wands. So Leo, Jupiter in Leo. Wow, Jupiter, again, Jupiter's day is very significant, Thursday, or the vibration of calling in by asserting divine masculinity. We have Three of Wands, Sun in Aries, fighting for what you want, knowing you can have it. How? Strategy and planning, also magic, right? Okay, and then we have Sagittarius, Temperance card. It's going to be the persevering, alchemical, the grit. This is the pearl. Okay, the heron. No matter where you are at, you will overcome. You can overcome. You can persevere. Is it a fight? It's a different kind of fight. It's a manifestation. Okay, I split the deck and we have movement. And then we have the Ouroboros. Okay. A friend to you. Okay. And then we have a scorpionic spade. Okay. Center and focus. Many a talent. Which one will take you there? Being a friend to you. Okay. At the bottom of the deck, another moon. Okay, but it goes from this waning crescent to this waxing crescent, and then we have that rosy kind of lavender, the hues that we were referencing in the beginning of the reading. This is you applying, knowing, the understanding, getting ready to apply. Is it really the lesson? It's the knowledge that has latent within you, that is latent within you, that you're trying to bust out, right? Like the flame. You're trying to light that fire. You're trying to be your friend by being honest with yourself, okay? Don't you go lying to you, Empress. Don't you go be eating all the chocolate, Empress. I'm so sorry, I'm thinking about food. The Empress always makes me laugh because I'm like, more chocolate, please. Rosy cheeks, please. This is you gooing. This is you goo gaga. This is you, babying yourself, smothering yourself. Like you are baby. You are, you want to be rich in youth. You want to be youthfully rich. You want to be Delulu rich. You want to be out there rich. You want to feel rich. You want to. Is it about money? It's a sensation. It's going from the empty room to being fulfilled within you. Is that not rich? Is that not richness? Is it a quality or is it just about money, right? All right then. Shit. Let's see. Is there any clarity on the Temperance or the? Can we get why is 9 of Cups here? Many a Jupiter. If you know, you know, right? That's what the Hermit is saying. If you know, you know. I was thinking about titling this, If You Know, You Know. So it might just be that you know this, and we are asserting, or it's that you know what to do. Okay, holy, this is it. Look, tend to your emotions. It's the feeling. So feelings, yes, they're fleeting. But does that mean you have to feel dull? You have to feel nothing? No, it's like knowing that you must feel a sense of responsibility to both have fun and then take care of what you need to take care of. There they is. The High Priestess appears. I'm going to go soak that in. I honor you. I honor your psychic path, your psychic vision. To know, okay, is to have, to hold, okay, responsibly in your also youthful knowing, your attitude. The pomegranates are here. I must go indulge in some pomegranates with the High Priestess and the Empress now. Once again, please share your experiences. Your comments are worth it to me. I love that this is part of my journey. So before I tear up, I'll see you in a bit.